heard some experience with mock trial already. And I heard Sawyer say, I just love the law. It's like I eat and breathe and sleep the law. It's probably good to disperse that into the teams because, you know, like, does that make sense? You know, to split those resources into different teams so that one team doesn't dominate on this scavenger hunt. Let me rephrase that a different way so that it will be fair.
Yes, I got you. Although I don't know if it'll come in handy too much because a lot of the scavenger hunt is also centered around UAB. And
yes.
Not too many people know. But I'll definitely split Shay and Sawyer up for sure. Give me a minute to work on these breakout rooms.
So let me talk a little bit about why we start with this scavenger hunt. There's two things happening here, but you should have already watched a little video about judicial process, and so we're trying to reinforce that as one of the things we're trying to do in the scavenger hunt. So judicial process is really the water we swim in if we were fish, but since we're not fish, we're lawyers. We're swimming in the judicial process, and why does that matter? Well, wouldn't it be terrible if you knew the facts and you had a great argument and you got out processed? Somebody knew the process better than you did. Wouldn't that be terrible? They showed up at the right place and you didn't. They filed the motion with the right color paper and you didn't, and you lost because of that. You know, that's actually a real deal, right? If you file an appellate brief and it's in the wrong font, you lose. And so process matters. And so that's one of the reasons we spend a little bit of time. We don't spend a ton of time on it, but I don't want you to leave this camp not realizing how important it is. Deadlines matter. You could be a freaking genius and be one day late, you lose. So I think this really, to me, is a much bigger deal than in other professions, because if you're a salesperson and you turn in the sale a day late and you lose the sale, you maybe lost some commission. Here we're losing people's lives. We're losing people's custody when they should have custody of the children. They don't get it. And so it's kind of a big stakes, profession, and we can't miss deadlines. We have to use the right font. We have to use the right color paper. So process matters. So that's what you should be looking for in this game is, yeah, we're going to have fun and we're going to go around and look at some things on UAB's campus. But at the same time, be thinking about judicial process. So where are we, Maya? I don't know what that means. Any questions so far that I can answer? Well, let me do this plug then. Tomorrow morning, we're going to start the session. Well, after Dawn with Vaughn, after that, we're going to start around 9 o'clock with Judge Powers. He's going to be on the line with us. We'll have a little test about the reading assignment I just sent out. And then we'll have a little, yes.
Oh, no, finish your thing, and then I want to go. So that's why my hand is up, yeah.
And then we'll break into teams, and we'll do that little test again. And Dr. D, Professor D can talk about that. And then we're going to be looking at story. What story do we tell? And you might be thinking, well, why does that matter? Well, it's huge because the facts in courts don't really change. When we go into court, we're stuck with the facts that we get, and so, well, how can there be two sides? Well, you can take facts and tell 2 different stories, 3 different stories, 7 different stories based on the same facts. Well, how do we know which story to tell? And so that's what we're going to start looking at in the morning is if we're going to retell this story, if we're going to reimagine Scottsboro, how do we know which story to tell? Obviously, the one that got told didn't work, right? So which story should we tell? So Professor D?
All right, guys, so you're going to want to keep watching the chat. A couple of things that I've observed is that not everyone's taking notes. You're going to want to take notes. I'm going to do what I can to capture main points that Brandon is highlighting. Those are tips to you, because remember, I know what's coming this week, you don't. And so there are tests. We're part of that. The other thing is I really want you thinking about this concept of what is justice. What are we talking about when we talk about fixing an unjust or changing something that was an unjust or unjust ending to justice, because that's really what it's about. And storytelling is very important, and the scavenger hunt that you're going on really is the beginning foundations of whose story you're telling and how you're going to tell that story, because the story that I tell will not look at all like the story that Brandon will tell, which definitely won't look like the story that Peyton will tell. And what Patrick comes up with, I have no idea compared to what Maya would come up with. So remember, we all can see the same thing, but we're not going to come back and tell you the same story.
Alrighty. Did y'all want to add anything else before we broke out?
Not unless you have a question. I'm good.
Okay, so everybody, we're about to do a scavenger hunt like Brandon said. This scavenger hunt is going to be a mixture of learning more about the criminal process and learning more about UAB as a whole. So the way it works, since we did have to adapt it for a virtual format, is there's a presentation that the lead facilitator in your room will be sharing the screen with. All the staff, please check Teams. I just gave instructions on that. And they will have that presentation up. Y'all will use that presentation and the instructions included to kind of navigate the scavenger hunt. You will need somebody to use their phone for QR codes. So once you do go into the breakout rooms, go ahead and designate that person and follow instructions as needed. Facilitators, you should be able to call the host or ask for the help or something like that. So if you have any issues, just call me and I'll pop into your room. Do we have any questions so far?
I've got one.
Okay, Daisy Faye had one too, so whichever one of y'all wants to go first.
Daisy. With the whole room thing, how will we know exactly where to find it?
I'll send you all to breakout rooms shortly, and a prompt will pop up on your screen for you to just go ahead and go to the room.
Okay.
I thought you were probably going to ask the same question as me. That's why I said you first. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot. I've been on Zoom for the past like 4 months, and
Yeah.
I forgot that like everybody's not used to it.
And
So it'll be on Microsoft Teams. I'm sorry.
No, it's on Zoom.
The
Yeah,
team
it
will
won't
be on
have
Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay. I've
So
been
Dave-
trying to join, and I've been not able. Ma'am?
You've been having problems with Teams?
I've been having problems with all of my devices recently. I just got a new phone, so everything's not really working for me. It just kind of started, and I was just wondering exactly. So the link will come to my Zoom.
Yeah, you're going to have something pop up right now on your computer screen very shortly that says you're invited to join, and you
Okay.
accept.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll just say this: at first, this is sort of clunky.
Yes.
It gets better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's clunky for all of us. Don't worry about it. I mean, we'll get it worked out.
Yes, so thank y'all so much.
That's part of the reason we're doing the scavenger hunt, Daisy. It's so we can start Daisy Face, so we can start working through the technology, and that's for everybody. This is a practice for us as well as for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you
I think
so
that's
much.
the biggest thing for everybody to note. We did this camp last year, but it was in an in-person format. This virtual thing is going to be a lot different. There will be some road bumps, but we'll get past them. Just be patient with us, give us your feedback, and we'll keep it rolling.
And by the way, we'll get kicked off too and have to come back on. So know that it's not just happening to you guys, it happens to us. We'll get frozen in like a motion.
All right, do we have any more questions? Facilitators, y'all, go
Oh,
ahead.
no, yeah, Christiane.
So basically, I'm just going to say that I'm pretty much really confused because I was already having some issues previously. And so it's just, I kind of just got everything in the nick of time. So, I mean, I'm just pretty confused.
I have an idea for this. So what part is confusing you? Is it the breakout rooms part?
Yeah, that's one of them. and you say we're doing a scavenger hunt, and it's these different rooms and stuff, but I haven't had the time to actually go through everything because I was having some issues with my own phone and my own email, so I just found out everything today, like when we were trying to get on the call.
Christiane, you're doing great. So let's break it down really simply. Right now, you're going to be invited to go to a breakout room, and we'll describe the scavenger hunt from there.
Okay.
You have someone going with you on the scavenger hunt. And going on the scavenger hunt means we're doing it via Zoom. So you're not going anywhere literally.
Okay, yeah, because I kind of figured that. It's just I don't know if we're looking stuff up. I don't know if, like, I really just don't know.
It'll all make more sense once you see like the actual presentation and stuff. It won't be too much on your end. As far as like prior knowledge, the only resource that we're using from this is one of the videos that was about the criminal process. If you don't have it right now, you'll be fine without it because it wasn't like super duper heavy.
And you'll be working in a team. You won't be working just by yourself.
And also, Christiane, have you ever seen a show in a courtroom?
My dad and my little sister loved crime shows.
Okay.
But it's been so long, so I can honestly.
Do you know who a judge is?
Do I know who a judge is? I know it's the guy with the hammer.
All right. You're doing good. As a matter of fact, Christiane, you just got the gavel. Good job.
Thanks.
I told y'all she's gonna be throwing stuff across that screen all week. So get used to it. All
Hang
right.
in there, Christiane, whatever you do, and this is for all of you, just take a deep breath. As long as you don't get lost on technology, we're going to be here for you. And if you get lost, sign back in, and we're going to let you right back in, and we'll put you right where you need to be. So we're on this journey with you. Do your best to be patient with it, because it doesn't work the way we want it to work either. So
Okay.
you're good. You're good.
I got one more question.
Go for it.
So I noticed that there were a lot of messages in the more part. So is the link going to be sent like in the group on the app, or is it going to come by an email? Like,
Yes,
You won't need
this
a
is
link.
the part that, yeah, that's what I wanted to enunciate, is there is not actually a link that gets sent to you. You're just going to get a notification in Zoom saying you've been invited to this and then asking you to accept.
okay, thanks.
And by the way, if you don't accept, we'll know because you're staring at us.
Right. All right, everybody ready? Any more questions? Don't hesitate to ask. All right, so you should be getting a prompt.
Right now.
Anetta, you're still here. I'm about to send you somewhere, Nadia. Nadia, accept the breakout room thing.
Hey, Shay.
Hey,
Okay, so are you the person on the right, the person on the left?
pardon?
On your image on your Zoom, are you the person on the right
Oh,
or the
I'm the
left?
person on the right.
You're the person on the right. Okay.
Yeah. I couldn't hear anything, so I just left and came back. So, how do I get back into the breakout room?
Oh, we need Maya to get you in there. Hold on one sec.
Oh, okay.
Okay, she'll get you there.
Thank you.
She's the one with all the power.
While we're here,
Yes.
um, I have a question about your nonprofit certificate.
Yes.
How do I get it?
Okay, so you're going to contact Raven Dials. Raven Dials is the School of Business MISQ advisor and now in charge of the program. So if you'll send Raven and myself an email, we'll get you on the right path.
How do you spell dials?
Raven Dials. Let me put it in the chat for you, Shay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And like I said, and I'm A. Dolowitz. So if you send it to both of us, you'll be set. And you should have an invite that is asking you to go back to your room.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You see it? At the bottom of my Zoom screen, I have one that says breakout rooms. And when I click on it, it says you've been assigned 2.
I don't see it.
Oh, let's see what's going on with Maya. All right, let's see if we can get a response here. I know they're going to be joining us soon. I just don't know when. Yep, see? Hey, Shay's with me.
How'd you get here?
My sound wasn't working, so I asked if I could leave and come back, but I didn't know how to get back in the breakout room.
You were in the one with Nadia, right?
Yes.
All right, I'll send you there. That's breakout room 2.
Thank you. Got it.
They're still working on names, Anetta.
Cool.
It's supposed to be done.
They're well, Maya, it takes time.
No, I'm just saying, like, I know we had the schedule.
Yeah, whatever.
Cool.
How well do we stick to schedules?
Just making sure we're on the same page. So,
Just like Brandon said, no one will show up at 4.
and almost everybody, we got some good ones.
Yeah, we do.
I wish you was saying it. Amy had warmed up at one point, and as soon as I walked in the room, I heard the tone of her voice, and I was like, "What you fussing about now?" So they were doing good.
Yeah, she totally had warmed up. Right now, we just need to give some kit gloves to Christy Ann.
Yeah, they'll come.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll get them there. Peyton was also kicking butt facilitating.
Good, good.
Patrick was a little confused. Nadia was doing good about filling the silences. So
Good, good. Well, if Patrick had managed to make some of the trainings, we will not discuss that.
Yep.
I do think he's spending a great deal of his time in with Danielle, so that's probably not a bad thing.
Okay. I'm looking for the only other thing we had tonight for the points that we wanted to go ahead and give them the TikTok challenges. Sunday present Monday.
I do like the fact that you're on reverse with gold diggers.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out if y'all could see a reverse or not. I'm gonna go ahead and switch it back, but I think I got what I need anyway.
Still think it's great. Okay, Brandon said they're done, which is good.
Their name is very weird. Just if it's anything like what I last heard, very weird.
Brandon's in the room. My team gels. Brandon's team is weird.
It was Kylan though, and I knew it was gonna be Kylan. Legally Blonde. Go ahead and copy this link and check on the other teams, and then
Send a message out that says 2 minutes, and then have them leave the room. You can do a 2-minute timer in breakout, and then what you'll do is you'll set the timer for 2 minutes, and then you're sending them an actual message that says breakout rooms will close in 2 minutes. There
where
you
do
go.
I set the timer though?
If you go to the breakout room instructions, you should be able to set a timer. Oh, you know what? You can't. So just make sure you bring them back in. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. You can
Google.
only do that
Timer for
before
2
you
minutes.
send them to their breakout rooms.
That's what I was thinking.
2 minutes, and that's starting now.
Google got me.
You and Brandon.
I love my Googles. I love them. I have 2 in my apartment, and I live in the studio.
What is it? Is it
Google
an Echo?
Google.
Okay. No, I won't let Barbara do it. I don't trust it. Now, when we hit 70 and older, I don't give a rat's ass, because at that point, if I need an emergency or something happens, all I have to yell is Google, call 911.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with that.
And they weren't gonna pick up on that. Like, hold up.
You mean I get to mess with yours, not Brandon's? Wait.
You're gonna make me turn the mic off. See, that's the thing. Google hasn't had many issues. Alexa has.
Mm-hmm.
Alexa has, I remember reading a story where a woman was saying she was talking to her husband about some furniture or rugs or something in the house, and one of her friends called her and said, unplug your Alexa right now. And she was like, why? What are you talking about? He was like, I just heard y'all's whole conversation. It sent it to me. Y'all were talking about rugs and furniture. She was like, oh my God. And she started freaking out. And I think, like, Google hasn't had any reports about that. The Apple Home thing that they did that wasn't really that successful, they didn't have any, but it was Alexa that was the shady one.
I like Saturday Night Live and their Alexa commercials.
Yes, those are funny. Oh, all the commercials are usually funny. The one with Cardi B. She's just funny.
Oh, you know, I need to send out an invite to our creative minds. Maya, what works? When aren't you working? Is it Thursday still? Yeah, tell me when you aren't working your second job, what day of the week?
I'm usually going to be working there the weekends.
Okay. So we said Thursday, didn't we?
Yeah. Okay, that's 2 minutes. So I'm going to close all the breakouts.
All right. Yeah, you close them out. And I'll send out a doodle poll for the 29th or 30th or the 5th and the 6th.
Okay.
What do you think?
That sounds good. I don't know which one yet, but that sounds good.
Okay. All right.
Everybody's about to come here now.
Okay.
Oh, that'll give them a minute.
Yeah, it does, but they'll start trickling in.
Maybe. They're the type to use that whole minute, I bet.
That's okay. We can handle it, can't we?
The team you were with originally changed their name, and they were coming up with some good ones.
Good. They're going to be a good team. They're going to have a struggle with one of them, but they'll get it sorted out.
I think that's everybody really right now.
Mm-hmm.
Situation.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon.
Yes, dear.
The only other thing I had left was to do the TikTok challenge for tonight.
Okay.
I know what else you wanted to do, so.
Let me do this. Let me take no more than 3 minutes, maybe 2.5.
Okay.
And then you do the TikTok and we'll go. Okay, you think everybody's back?
It looks like it.
So let me ask you this. Based on where we are on judicial process in the Scottsboro Boys trial, when's the first time in the judicial process that the Scottsboro Boys trial might have turned out differently?
Is it charging?
Talking to me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Wait, was there a question?
Yes, sorry.
Yep. So here's my question. Based on what you now have reviewed about judicial process, when is the first time in the Scottsboro Boys trial, the Scottsboro Boys case, when's the first time in the process that the case could have had a different result? Yeah, let's hear it, Sorothy.
Okay, I guess even with just like the first step, like with the crime, if I forget their names, like if the two ladies did not step down from the train cart and say that they were raped by these boys, then the whole, like this, I guess the entire case itself wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Piggybacking off of, how do you pronounce your name?
Shruti.
Shruti. I also think like the step of the investigation was just completely left out of the process.
Good. Both of those are great answers. Michi, I think I saw some movement from you, although I've lost you now.
Oh, I was just about to say, like, well, even if like they were falsely charged with a crime, yeah, the investigation part, like Amy said, would have been where it's like they went wrong because it was up to the cops to like investigate and see if they actually did the crime or not.
Just the cops?
And is it prosecution?
What? Yeah. And what about once they had a defense lawyer?
And the lawyers.
Yeah.
So-
So that investigation piece, even if the
Didn't they
arrest
have
had
like a
got-
real estate lawyer or something like that? They weren't
Right.
given a good lawyer in the first place.
It was a lawyer
Well,
Tennessee and then a retired lawyer.
yeah. If I can invite you to maybe look at, wow, it would have been nice to have a criminal lawyer, right, instead of a real estate lawyer. That would have been good. So certainly in the crime itself, you know, we could have gotten a better result there, or more just result. Sawyer.
Thinking back on all of this and also looking back at it, considering the people at the time, try to get someone who was not a Jewish lawyer, because it was even presented in the case that there was segregation. There was already bigotry against the lawyer to begin with because he was Jewish. And most of the people in the South at that time were Christians. So they already didn't like him. So that would also play a factor
Yes.
considering the time.
So that probably would have happened around the initial appearance or the initial hearing, you know, because that's when the lawyer would have been appointed. So that's a part of the process when we could have had a different result. Any other thoughts?
Are we still on like where it first went wrong, or just everything that went wrong with it?
Well, I'm really just kind of looking at the process itself and saying, you know, where in the process might we have had a different result? So I mean, so far every step, right?
Right.
Jury selection. They should have picked like a non-biased jury.
Jury selection.
Yeah.
And we haven't missed a step yet, right? What about the trial itself?
I want to say that I think is that when I was thinking about it, it was just really when it was the people that they had, it was the investigation, and it was also the way that things were presented, if that makes sense. Just everything that they did. They could have done a better job of it.
Yeah, pretty much at every step, right, Christiane?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What about this though? I thought about this because it was presented. If the let's not say we get rid of the lawyer. Now, if the lawyer himself were to conduct his cross-examination with one of the women, what if he had gone about it a different direction? Because it was even stated within the information we were given that he thought he was making a strong case. But every time he would press for more information out of these women, it made the jury and the people around him present him more.
So Sawyer, are you speaking about Libowitz right now?
Yes.
He is.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Like I think.
no,
Oh, you can go ahead. Sorry.
no, you go.
No, I was just gonna say, I think like what Sawyer was really reiterating on was like from the video we saw that the jury and the people felt more as if the trial was a trial, like I guess a case, I guess attacking their their Southern backgrounds and like how their way of living from what I understood, as opposed to a trial being about whether these boys had actually raped these two women or if it was just an allegation.
Yeah.
Um,
How important was socioeconomic status? How important was money?
very important because especially when it came to getting that lawyer, like I know from the video, the boys had to pull in all their money from like all their families. I think they said it was like $60 just to go looking for a lawyer, as opposed to like people who had more money or were able to afford that lawyer had it easier.
Why were the young men on the train in the first place?
Work.
Looking, yeah.
Couldn't get a job in the town they were in, right? And they had to get on the train to go find a day job somewhere else. And what about the accusers? Oh, well, Sophie.
Oh, I was just going to say the accusers were also in a really bad situation. And it kind of came up when like Ruby came in, was like, oh, actually I was making it up because she felt threatened by the other girl because they were worried about them going to jail just for being on the train. And so they felt threatened and they made an accusation.
Yeah. And why were they on the train in the first place?
Because they were looking for work.
Looking for work. Right. Yeah. Excellent.
Here's a question I have that really makes me think about all the stuff that was presented when the women were on stands. I mean, on the stand. One, I forget which one it is, but she was dense in thinking that the reason why the defense attorney kept pointing to a toy train as a reference material, as a model, whether or not she was where in the train she was located, she wasn't able to answer. And to lead into that, because one of the individuals that was brought up said, I didn't see any women on the train. That would possibly give position to where some of the individuals were at the time in which this happened, and whether or not she was in the same train cart as.
Yeah, I think today most scholars would agree that the women were not in the same part of the train as the young men were. Was your point more about the fact that she wouldn't give in to the model train, and so he couldn't prove that they were in two different places?
Yes.
Yeah, if I can encourage you guys, Dr. Tim Levine will be presenting to us one day this week, and he is a scholar at the University of Alabama in Birmingham, and his work is in deception. He's going to be talking about, do people lie, and why do they lie, and when do they lie, and how do lies work? And that's what his research is in, and it's a fascinating question. And Ruby Bates, well, actually both accusers have some really interesting things that they do when it comes to deception. It's certainly worth paying attention to that. So I won't go too deep into that, but you're absolutely on the right path. Right? That is absolutely the kind of things that we want to be looking at.
Can I make a comment on something that was said earlier in
Sure.
the call? When Sawyer, you were talking about the attorney and having him being from like Jewish background, being from New York. I actually think that was really important to the case because it helped to garner national attention. One thing about the Birmingham Civil Rights Movement is they had tried it in other places, but because there was such a strong antagonist, they were able to gain that national attention to change the minds of the people. It's like, oh, we know what's going on in the South, but then you see people getting hosed and dogs being unleashed on them. So I think when he took his platform in Alabama and they were like, oh, they did someone we love like this, Alabama is wrong. And I think that helped to get the minds of other people involved.
I mean, I don't, I'm sorry, Mr. Blankenship.
Well, I'll come back to you, okay? If you'll just let me bookmark you just for a minute. If you think about the roles in the courtroom, Amy, to your point, I'm going to talk about in the morning about the fact that we have 7 roles in the courtroom. And if you start going through in your head, it's real easy. You'll go, well, yeah, there's a judge, there's a defense attorney, there's a prosecutor, there's a jury, and you'll start running, and you'll get to 6. and you'll only be able to find 6 roles in the courtroom. You're like, wait a minute, what's the 7th role? Well, the 7th role in the courtroom is society. We forget about that sometimes. It's easy to see in the Scottsboro Boys case because when the trial started, thousands of whites that weren't from Scottsboro surrounded the courthouse, and the windows were open because it was hot. And when something happened in the courtroom that the people outside liked, they cheered. And when something happened they didn't like, they booed. So does society have a role in the courtroom? Absolutely. And not only, today we don't stand outside the courtroom and cheer, but we do it on social media, don't we? We do it on Instagram and TikTok and all that, right? So is that still a real thing that impacts, courtrooms today? Yes. And are we polarized today based on race or religion? Absolutely. And so, Amy, you're absolutely right. What happened in the Scottsboro Boys trial was society actually became real in the courtroom. And it didn't just do it locally, it did it globally. There were people all over the world who were marching and raising money and supporting and not supporting the Scottsboro Boys, maybe for the first time in history, based on that, on just an unjust trial or unjust prosecution banner. Sawyer?
Well, as a piggybacking on what Amy said, it's not just that. It was that, let's say the Scottsboro boys were actually tried somewhere else. They would have more of a chance because of the culture in which they would be tried in, or society they would be tried in. In the South, because there was so much prejudice on anyone who was either a communist, had a different religion, or their skin color, it wouldn't have gone the way it was supposed to.
So Brandon, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of pipe in here a little bit. Sawyer, you have some work to do with your team. Your teams, y'all are coming up with great stuff from each of your teams right now. And as a team, that's what you're going to determine. And you're going to have to think about it from all these different 7 positions as we walk you through the week. And what I'm excited about is, Brandon, I wish we could record this, play it back for them each day to see how they change and how much deeper they dive in to where we get to you on Saturday. What I do like is you all are steps ahead of where we were last year with a face-to-face group at this point on a Sunday evening.
Yeah, excellent. So let's bring it to a close there, and I'm going to encourage you guys in this way. You're on the right road. That you're absolutely thinking the right thinking. You've obviously actually explored the case. Excellent work on that. We'll pick back up in the morning. Before we go, Maya has a challenge for you guys. And could we talk a little bit about the teams and team points? Is that a Maya thing? Is Maya here? Yeah, there's Maya.
Yeah. So actually I have one more thing I want to talk about too. So before we go into talking about the challenges, I wanted to talk a little bit about like Zoom etiquette / expectations, because I know like we've already discussed, some people are new to Zoom, and in the time of Corona, there have been some practices established. So I think the first thing is it's great that everybody wants to pipe in and stuff, but everybody has a little bit of background noise sometimes. So the rule of thumb is really to try to keep yourself muted when you can during the conversation, just to prevent that background noise from distracting others. But of course, if it is like an active conversation, feel free to leave yourself unmuted so that you can chime in a timely manner. And then the second thing is that we really want everybody to be as engaged as possible throughout the camp. So we ask that people turn their cameras on when we're having these kind of discussions, so we can, the big part of communication, aside from the words, is body language. And we're missing a lot of that from being face to face. So if we can communicate with each other, and at least see each other's faces, then we'll be able to understand. There will be some topics that might get a little heavy sometimes. So the more we can communicate with nonverbal communication as well as verbal communication, the easier it'll be on everybody.
And by the way, speak up when we go into breakout rooms. We've tried to remind the facilitators, but we get really excited and engaged in what's going on. And sometimes we forget how tiring it is for you. We realize it after the fact when we hit the bed and we're out cold of, oh, we're tired now. So if you need a 30 seconds or 2 minutes of, please, can we just turn off the screen? Tell them that, or you can do this. But please don't do that when when someone's talking. That you don't want to do, because that sends the wrong message. But we can have moments where we just say cameras off and just give you a cameras off moment. So, and look, I'll be willing to make my hair really messy for everybody if you have a hair problem. I will fix it and make you all look better. I have no problem with that. Okay.
Anybody have any questions about any of that? Concerns, comments, cries of outrage? Cool. Second thing about, or another thing about Zoom, I see a lot of head shaking and stuff like that. In case you didn't know, if you look at the bottom of your screen, there should be a button that says reactions, and there you can give like a thumbs up or clap or stuff like that. That's another way to engage with the conversation. Yep, thank you, Nadia. If you want to, as you see with the Nettas, you can change your, like the skin tone of it if you go into the settings on Zoom. So that's something fun to do. And then another option, if you hit the participants button and look over to the side, you should be able to raise your hand. And so whoever is the host, thank you, Professor D, you can raise your hand and the host will be able to see it. So that'll help us call on you. If you're not wanting to chime in all the time, that'll help us see you better. Everybody see those things on the screen? Give me a thumbs up if you do. A thumbs up with the reaction button if you can.
Brandon's exception is absolutely perfect. For those of you who have a flat affect, which Brandon does, please feel free to make smileys or this is how I'm feeling. Those are acceptable as well. Have fun.
Cool. So that was all on Zoom. If y'all have any more questions, of course, feel free to message Kayla or me or any other facilitators through Teams. If you have any issues with Teams, let us know that before you log off and we can try to figure that out too. Next thing, Brandon was talking about the challenge. So what we're going to be doing this week is keeping points. There'll be team points, there'll be individual points. You won't understand where those points are coming from because that's kind of the point. I know some of y'all might be that overachiever type that I always try to go for the points, but if you can't make sense of it, then you can't go for it. So do your best throughout the entire camp, and we'll be letting you know as those points build up throughout the week. There will be some obvious instances, of course, like the scavenger hunt. We've already talked about how we'll have to have a tiebreaker with that. So in case y'all forgot, the tiebreaker for the scavenger hunt is for the team who comes up with the best name and the best virtual background. If you can't do a virtual background because of your computer settings, that's fine. We just want to see one per team. It doesn't even have to be set like this one. I realize this one is backwards now. It wasn't last week. Go ahead, Anetta.
Kudos to Shay's team, because what they have done, and Maya, that you do need to acknowledge the points on that one. They have automatically put the initials of their team in front of their name, which makes it easier for speakers as well as for us to quickly identify who's on a team. So thank you very much. Kudos.
And easier to award points to a team.
Yeah.
Much easier to award. Are you listening? Much easier to award points to a team.
Of course, we'll still need to see part of your first name too for individual points, but we do definitely want to see some of those team names.
Wait, we're doing individual as well?
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Any questions about that? Okay, so last thing for, oh, go ahead, Daisy Faye.
I have a question. For my computer, it won't, I know at the bottom next where it says participants chat and share, there's supposed to be a react button, you said? Okay, for that, I'm not seeing that at all, but do I need to is there like a Zoom app, like application I need to download onto my computer?
Yeah, that might help.
Yes, it sounds like you're using the web browser version and it doesn't sometimes come with everything. Go ahead and download the app. That way you'll have the most recent updates and it should have the reaction button and the things everyone else is seeing.
Right, and is that compatible with Chromebook?
It should be. Zoom's website does have a list of compatible devices, but Chromebook should be compatible.
Okay, all right.
There are a couple of things that aren't compatible with Chromebook, so thanks for letting us know that you don't have it, but it's stuff that we probably won't be using that often, like the annotation features and stuff like that. Is anybody else using a Chromebook?
I see
Amy?
it. It says it is Chrome, get from Chrome Web Store.
Okay.
Amy has one as well. Okay, cool. And again, remind us, if something comes up and it's not working, please let us know because we will immediately come up with an alternative.
JL, are you guys the Justice League? Is that what y'all went for?
Ma'am.
Nadia, you weren't supposed to be asking that yet.
Oh, it was so clear.
I
was
heard
on it.
nothing, knew nothing. I didn't see Sawyer's background or nothing. I have no idea what you're talking about. By the way, I want everybody to give themselves a big pat on the back or a high five or a fist pump. You all just did 3.5 hours with us and 1 break. You freaking rocked it, man. You freaking rocked it.
Way to stay in it, y'all. Okay, so we can not go too far past this 3.5 hours. The last thing we're gonna do is let you all know about the daily challenges we have going on. Peyton and I worked really hard to find a bunch of clips for you all, and we're gonna do a TikTok challenge every day. And the amount of effort you put into that TikTok challenge is really on you. We'll provide you with the audio content through Teams for you to use, but they are all clips from something relating to law. Everybody will probably notice the first one, but after that first one, it won't be as familiar. So in addition to sending you the audio clips, we'll also send you the full clip to the videos that we pulled them from so you can get a little bit more context. I know, TikTok, but it'll be fun. And go ahead, Christiane.
So this may be a bit obvious, but when you say the TikTok challenge, are you talking about like just dances? Because
No.
Okay, thank goodness, because I can't dance at all.
No. So they're all videos, like clips from courtroom scenes or some kind of scene like that, and it'll really just
you can't handle the truth.
Doing like, yeah, that kind of stuff. Like you doing the acting to go with the audio. We're not gonna ask you to dance because I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
We're not gonna ask y'all to do anything we wouldn't do.
All right, good.
I think we're just looking for creativity. One of the competencies we're working on here is what I call spontaneity. What do you do when you get in a courtroom and everything's against you and you're trapped? What do you do when you're in the mock trial team and you get trapped? Right? You got to be spontaneous. You got to be creative. You got to come out of the box. Do that.
All right, thank you.
Can facilitators participate in this TikTok challenge?
Why not?
Absolutely.
Okay, I don't have a TikTok, so I might have to go download one. but I feel like it'll be interesting, so I don't want to miss out.
I think you would be good with that one, Kaylin.
I think so too.
I have a question real quick. Are we going to show them what we're kind of looking for? Like an example? Did we have one?
Do you still have an example you showed me?
Yeah, y'all can continue. Let me look at it or look it up real quick and I'll like send it somehow. I'll figure that out. Let me look for it.
You could just share your screen and play it.
Yeah. Or if you send me the link, I can do it. I know you were having some issues with sharing the screen earlier.
Yeah, let me look it up and I'll try to, cause I'm on a different computer, so I'll figure that out. Y'all just continue whatever else I need.
Okay. Brandon, check your chat before we move on to that. Oh, and then for tomorrow, do not forget that we have The Danger of a Single Story and Dawn with Vaughn at 8:45 in the morning, and then everything officially kicks off at 9. But you know, the earlier you get here, the earlier you get settled and get warmed up, the better. And just for a little bit of extra incentive on top of that, our daily TikTok challenge winners will get a prize on top of the points in the form of money. So, you know, yeah, cash. I like that face, Shelby. So really put that effort into those TikTok challenges. And that is a prize sponsored by no one other than Professor Blankenship himself. Patrick, you still looking for it?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
If y'all need to go, I'll send it out somehow, but I'm having to scroll through TikTok real quick.
Put it in Teams. Patrick, post it in Teams under the one for the students.
Yeah, the student channel.
Is it Reimagine, Brandon?
Reimagine.
Yeah, put it under Reimagine Camp students.
Okay, sounds good. I will.
I know y'all got a lot of information today. Oh, go ahead, Christiane.
Okay, so you have to forgive me. I forgot, and I got someone here with me. Forgot. Where are you going to be sending the challenges, like email or the group or like?
Microsoft Teams. And I know you said you were still struggling to get on that.
I'll have to see if I'll be able to get on it, but if I can't, then I'll let you guys know tomorrow.
Okay.
Can we send it out via email for just the first day or so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kayla, you have everybody's email address, right?
Yes, I should have it.
Okay, so we'll get Kayla to send it out to everybody. That'll be the audio and the link to the whole clip that we got it from. That should make it easier. Go ahead, Amy.
All right, thank you.
So for the daily TikToks, are we sending that in each morning, each night?
So it'll be assigned that night, and then you'll send it in the next morning.
Okay.
So you get the whole to work on it. Go ahead.
So this thing is like per team. So how are we gonna? I'm not too great with TikTok. So how are we gonna do that?
No, so that'll actually be individual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Although if you do a team one, that's going to score some massively good points because that means someone did some research to make that one happen.
If you've seen the like the Don't Rush challenge, like you can try to do something like that if you want to. You know, depends on how much you want willing to put into it. Y'all would have to split the money though to do that. But teamwork make the dream work, right? Any more questions about this or anything else? I know y'all got a lot of information. Might be a little bit overwhelmed. How's everybody feeling? Hopefully some thumbs up. Good. Overall positive reaction.
I found it. Just give me like 45 seconds to copy it real quick.
Well, Brandon, what did that mean?
Well, can you just share your screen and play it?
You're muted, Patrick.
I'm having to send it from my phone to my computer.
Okay.
But whenever I do, I can just share my screen and I'll play it.
It's worth the wait, I think.
I think so. Just so y'all get a good idea.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that Patrick needs to find like a 9 or 10-year-old kid that can teach him some technology.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I'm not.
Patrick, I've heard that on more than one occasion in the last 18 to 24 months that I've known Professor Blankenship. Trust me.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
That's what I do. When I can't figure out how to do something, I just hand it to some kid and say, hey, show me what button to push. And they know.
All right, let's see. I want to share my screen. All right, can everybody see this?
There you go.
I don't know how the sound is going to be.
You might have to.
Make sure you share sound.
You didn't share sound. So stop sharing, Patrick.
Okay, hang on. Let's see. Stop sharing.
When you first pull up the box where it's letting you select which window, in the bottom left corner, there should be a box for you to check that says share computer sound.
Ah, gotcha.
It's still not working. Can you
Wait, can y'all hear it?
No.
Will you just drop the link in teams and I'll pull it.
Okay.
Is she moving slow?
Well, that may happen for all of this because we're all on, but we'll have a link once Patrick has put the link in.
No, I'm sorry. I'm slow at all this. Let's see. Man, I'm tired of Max. I don't like him anymore.
I got one when I graduated high school from the debate team, and I sold it because I couldn't get with it.
Well,
Yeah.
the dang pad, the finger pad won't let me copy it.
Apple phased out my iPad, and I was like, you know what? I'm glad it died. I don't have to worry about it anymore.
You may be making me happy I don't have Apple shares if you keep talking like this.
Ugh, they're the worst.
Be careful. You have people on here who love their apples.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
Apples.
Okay, I'm just gonna have to
I like the
manually.
fruit.
Let's see.
Wait, can you do the Command C for the copy and paste? Command C, Command V.
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot that was a thing.
Probably some people over in the computer science department you could date.
Command C.
Command
V. Oh my gosh, there we go.
Ooh, Sawyer.
Right?
All right. I'll go ahead and pull it up for y'all. But y'all can copy that link too if y'all. Okay. Everybody see it?
Yes.
All right, let's see.
You tell me,
Can y'all hear it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
what would the correct ignition timing be on a 1955 Bel Air Chevrolet with a 327 cubic inch engine and a 4-barrel carburetor?
It's a bullshit question.
Does that mean that you can't answer it?
It's a bullshit question. It's impossible to answer.
Impossible because you don't know the answer.
Nobody could answer that question.
Your Honor, I move to disqualify Ms. Vito as an expert witness.
Can you answer the question?
No, it is a trick question.
Why is it a trick question?
Watch this. Because Chevy didn't make a 327 in 55. The 327 didn't come out till 62. And it wasn't offered in the Bel Air with a 4-barrel carb till 64. However, in 1964, the correct ignition timing would be 4 degrees before top dead center.
Come through.
I love that scene.
Yeah, that's a good scene. You may or may not see that scene again at some point this week. I don't know.
Not that we're saying anything, right?
We'll figure it out. But that's the bar. Raise it however how you want to raise it.
Try to get more creative too.
Yeah. Everybody
I think you may be having a judge in Patrick.
Oh, of course. We already know that.
They have to pass the
Oh, yeah.
Patrick bar.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, y'all. It is a sign off, and we'll see you at what time tomorrow with Dawn with Vaughn?
At 8:45.
Shh, they were supposed to answer that one.
My bad.
What time tomorrow at 8:45? Dawn with Vaughn? Oh, my good Lord, I just did it. Never mind. It's time to go.
You might be tired.
I think so.
Crashing from the sugar rush.
See you guys in the morning.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Kayla, can you stick on for a second?
Yeah.
I mean, and Brandon. Crap, I just forgot the question that fast.
Do I need to stick on too or not really?
We
Not
like
really.
talking to you.
Do you hold on one second, Brandon? Can we stop recording now or no?
Oh, yeah, stop.